It's time for the papers, and the Russian President Vladimir Putin is calling for a partial mobilisation of civilians to help in Ukraine. It's really dominating the front pages today, and Diptyka Laurent is here to take us through it. She's starting, in fact, with the French papers today, aren't you, Dipty?
That's right. Libération, always the paper that has a very visual front page, and you can see it here. It is very visual indeed today. It says Putin, war and fear, and it really does question whether his comments yesterday were, in a way, a sort of admission of failure. The paper says after suffering embarrassing defeats in Ukraine, now he's threatening a nuclear war. He's named the West as his arch nemesis, and he wants to mobilize citizens to help fight in that war in Ukraine. And the paper has a double-page spread today, and you see it up here with those pictures of the protests against Vladimir Putin and his comments yesterday. In the editorial today here in the left-hand corner, that word there, fear, that's what the headline of the editorial is. And the paper says, finally, Putin has said what we knew all along, that this is not a special operation, as he mentioned in February, but rather it's a war against Ukraine, but it's also a war against the West and a war against democracy. So that's from Libération, Stuart. Let's show you now Le Figaro. The French right-wing paper, also choosing some very strong words on its front page here. You say, you can see there, Putin chooses one-upmanship. You see that that word there, surenchère, is sort of choosing to one-up the West, if you like. And its editorial on the bottom there says, calls Vladimir Putin a radioactive Tsar. And you also have L'Humanité, which is the communist paper, which speaks of Putin's crazy escalation by the hands of the Russian president. Stuart.
That's here in France, but the threats are really dominating, aren't they, Dipty, the papers right around the world?
Absolutely. You have Il Manifesto, which is an Italian paper. They also are giving front page cover, and that headline roughly reads to, Russia's fist, or Russia trying to show its strength. And its editorial here says that we've reached a point of no return. So you see very strong language there. Now we can show you the British papers as well, also not mincing their words today. This is what the Daily Mail says. It calls Vladimir Putin the desperate Kremlin leader who's warning the West of Armageddon if he's thwarted on Ukraine. But the paper headlining on Prime Minister Liz Truss's words that we won't be cowed by Putin's nuclear threats. You also have The Sun. I quite like this front page. The good news is, much like the Daily Mail, they're talking about the 5 British prisoners of war who were freed yesterday. That's the good news. But the Vlad news is that the rattled tyrant is threatening nukes. Stuart.
Let's move on to something completely different now. New Zealand lawmakers, they've brought forward an extraordinary bill seeking to ban government gobbledygook. What's this about, Dipty?
Well, it's exactly about that. It's about gobbledygook, if you like. It's a really extraordinary bill, Stuart, put forward by New Zealand Kiwi lawmakers. And actually, it's going through its second reading right now. It sparked very colourful debate in Parliament recently. So, for instance, if I say internal pain point, or change adaptability, or enhanced performance capability, or overlaying of certain planning provisions, what does this mean to you, Stuart?
Absolutely nothing.
Yes,
actually,
exactly.
What on earth is that?
I don't know. That's the thing. And that's the whole point of this bill, is that we got to stop using language like that, because nobody knows what we're on about, or what government lawmakers and government officials are on about. So you're not alone if you don't know what those words mean. It's part of government jargon that, in countries around the world, we're used to now in official documents. But lawmakers are hoping to change that now. Let's see if we can give you an example of sort of a before and after. So for instance, over the year, we tested the innovation readiness and change adaptability of the organization. It basically means nothing, right? But if you put it in plain English, it reads, we tested how ready our organization was to innovate and make changes. It makes a lot more sense when you dumb it down.
I understand that. Yeah. It's years of writing links for France 24, that's what it is. Finally, from Dipti, she's talking about celebrities and their hidden talents, of which there are many, apparently.
Yeah, that's right. I love this story because if you don't know, I don't know if you heard recently, but Brad Pitt apparently unveiled his hidden talents as a sculptor at an exhibition in Finland this week. And you know, the Guardian's looking at that and how, well, they're really applauding the fact that he did it, you know, without any hype, without any PR release, without any social media hype or, you know, a Netflix documentary following him. He just sort of casually did it as an artist. And he's not the only celebrity who's done this. Tom Hardy, the British actor, recently entered a Brazilian jiu-jitsu competition in the UK. Again, no hype. Nobody even knew he was really practicing the martial arts. He actually went to the competition was held at a local high school, so he sort of rocked up to this local high school, partook in this competition, and ended up winning it. We can show you a little video here. You can see this footage. Tom Hardy is in the blue, and you see there he's got his opponent in a chokehold. Who would have guessed that this was a Hollywood star? Apparently, he was very gracious as well, and you know, he also went home victorious, so that was pretty cool. So the Guardian's really applauding these celebrities who, for once, are not annoyingly omnipresent story.
You're an Olympic high diver in your spare time, aren't you, Dipti?
And I heard you do pole dancing, don't you?
Oh, yes, definitely. Every weekend, but I try to keep it quiet. So thanks for that. Dipti Galore with the papers from the newspaper bunker, as she is, for us there on France 24. More from her in a couple of hours' time.